it's a relief to many. Security problems last night. 4 vehicles taken at gunpoint, still unaccounted for. Thankfully, nobody hurt. Just shaken on the day. Well, as you can see, the bivouac is very, very tightly packed together today, and not surprisingly, when you know what went on. Well, a 600-kilometre special ahead of the riders and drivers today. A problem of focus, perhaps. Let's get to the action. The day after the night before, frayed nerves after a hold-up, the Dakar rolls on. Operation catch-up for Magnaldi, psyched in his sights. Steady as you go for the leader, keeping cool under pressure. And Schlesser pips Prieto to extend his lead.
Il y a le balai derrière, t'as les places.
Well, what a night it was. A hold-up by bandits. 1 motorcycle, 3 quads, 12 cars, 7 trucks, held at gunpoint. They made off with many vehicles, 4 of which are still unaccounted for. Well, in the face of Kalashnikovs, everyone handed over everything they could, including the vehicles. A frightening experience, to say the very least. And it only became apparent to all and sundry this morning. Hubert Auriol making the announcement. The race, though, he said, would be going on. Well, it was the tail enders who were held up one by one as they approached a narrow passage. And at this point, many vehicles still unaccounted for.
Well, the race has been victim of a hijacking on the track, which is not very good news, of course. But those bandits, there's no other word, wanted only to steal cars and fuel, because they were very well organized, and they were waiting for us for a point which was easy for them and critical for us.
Yes, indeed. This man is Jose Aguele. Says they were well organised. It was a very tight pass at the end of the stage. Everyone arrived slowly. We were widely spaced, and we were all stopped one by one and robbed in the dark. These victims said we recognised one of the bandits who stole a Tatra last year. He was actually wearing a Tatra team jacket, which is very cheeky. He says he took me into the dark, demanded all I had, gave my money and my passport, or everything, my GPS off my bike. Only then did he let me rejoin my friends. He says, I'm still very, very shocked indeed. Well, they were very rough, he says, but at the same time, there were 2 women in the cars, and they were treated with great respect, and for that, he says, we have to be thankful. A frightening experience for one and all. The repercussions reverberating throughout the field in the morning. Nervous times indeed. The explanations going on.
In South Africa we have a lot of trouble like this too. People being hijacked. We live with it every day. It's nothing new for me. It's not a good thing. You know, we have a lot of changes that are happening in our country. We hope for the better. But for me, it's quite normal to hear this type of thing every day. We have it.
C'est vrai que c'est très grave. Ça avait déjà eu lieu auparavant. Avec moins de concurrents concernés. Bon, ce qu'il faut, il faut quand même essayer de positiver.
Says he hopes the organisers do all they can to catch them. Very grave situation.
C'est du matériel qui a
disparu. Not what we should have to contend with on the Dakar. It's not what racing in Africa is all about.
Faire le rallye, ça devient très compliqué pour faire des courses en Afrique.
Well, as we know, security problems last night, bandits in operation, and the Hummer crew also suffered. Tell us about it.
Well, our service support truck was robbed at gunpoint. Thankfully, the truck wasn't stolen. We do know at this point that about 30,000 French francs in cash were stolen. We don't know if any of our parts are missing, our driver and co-driver's luggage, whether they've got clothes to continue on. So we're just kind of taking a wait-and-see attitude.
marche arrière sur la piste.
Yes, Hubert Auriol doing all he could
Il y a quoi que ce soit
to try and
derrière,
settle the
pour
nerves.
éventuellement voir s'il y a des affaires à récupérer.
But the
des
field
concurrents
well
qui ont été
and truly
abandonnés.
rattled on the day.
Et toute la sécurité est en place et sera assurée normalement pour les concurrents sur la spéciale du jour.
Just going to be a normal day, he said. Well, once daybreak arrived, he was out in the helicopters trying to find the trails. They were fairly easy to discover, and indeed Auriol was at the forefront of the search. They found the bivouac where they'd started, and indeed it wasn't long after before they found many of the vehicles that had been involved. Yes, trucks, one of the Land Cruisers, also found. At that point there were 3 Toyotas still missing. I can tell you one has since been found, so 3 cars unaccounted for. And so to today.